My fiance cheated on me. I've 32F, been with my fiance, 33M, for 5 years. We were supposed to get married last August, but made the tough decision to postpone our big day until August of 2022 because a lot of our older family members had expressed concerns with flying and being around a crowd of people. I met him at work. We are both hairstylists at a higher-end salon. It's not a really creative environment. Occasionally you'll get someone who wants rainbow hair, but other than that it's very generic colors and cuts. Like 9 months ago, he told me he was feeling really depressed and stagnant at work and wanted to quit and work in a more creative environment. I supported him and he started working at a new salon within the month. Literally everyone who works there is in their early to mid-20s besides him. Instantly he was so much happier, and within a few weeks he expressed his desire to start trying for a family and wanting me to come off the pill. I told him though it would be better to wait a little while, preferably after the wedding, because he wasn't bringing in the same money he used to. Some of his clients followed him, but the majority didn't, so his book/money was cut in half. His birthday is in May, and he brought up trying again and how he's in a good place at work and the timing is right. I agreed to come off PC, not really trying or prevent it, thinking it would take months to get pregnant. I get pregnant in June, 20 weeks 4 days, and we're both excited for the next chapter of our lives together. July he changes his hours and starts working more, and he tells me it's because he wants to be able to have money set aside for the baby, because I won't be working for 6-8 weeks after birth. I don't think anything of it and think it's sweet he's trying to provide for the baby. 2 weeks ago he sits me down crying, telling me he ed up. I'm thinking he got fired. He cheated on me with his 20-year-old apprentice stylist under him. I was in complete shock, because this is what he wanted. He told me it's been going on since he found out I was pregnant, because all of a sudden things he thought about just got really real and he couldn't handle it. I told him I couldn't deal with all this now and he needed to get out and stay with friends or family. He's been calling and texting me nonstop and apologizing, wanting to work on things, but he won't quit. I don't trust him and don't think I can unless he leaves his jobs and isn't around her all the time. I've talked to my therapist about this, and I really don't know what the right answer is here. I'm not I'm hurt. He's going to be in my life forever one way or another. I told him I'm 99% sure this is something I can't get over. I'm really trying my hardest to stay calm for the baby's sake, because I know stress isn't good and can lead to issues. Any advice would be great. Him not being involved is not an option. I would never be that cruel. He'll be a great father. He's so good with kids. Story 2. Just found out my fiance is cheating on me with my friend. Been together 6 years, proposed about 3 years ago, but been unable to get married due to COVID. We live in New Zealand ATM, but family are in the UK, so we were hoping to do it with family. So helped my upgrade her phone, noticed it said that there was 6 GB worth of data in the secure folder, Samsung, and I asked her if she wanted it and that normal passwords aren't working for me to transfer it. So she unlocks it and I go away to continue the transfer. Any other time in my life there's no way I would have looked at what was there. But the day before she said she needed to go out for a bit, being lockdown so I thought, like to go off and clear her head. But yesterday as she was leaving I hear the side gate rattle. I looked out of the toilet window, and there she is, acting a little weird, expecting her to just carry on with what she was doing, but she just sort of stared at me with a smile. I sort of just looked back at her thinking nothing of it, and it starts to get awkward, and then I notice a cooler bag. I'm like, why didn't you bring it through the house? She goes all weird and strangely does give an explanation, and says something on the lines of, you know me, I'm just weird, so alarm bells ringing. Few other random things started to click together, and I'm like, no *****ing way. She gets back later and explains herself well enough, and I decided I was maybe just being silly. So yeah, phone full of videos of my so-called friend and her with picture of them, kissing her, playing with toys I've not even seen. I'm in a bad way right now and not sure what to do. I know it's my fault. I got prompted to a stressful position and I've been absent and distant. And now all I want to do is fix it, and I can't. Can't go through this again. My ex before I ended up in a similar situation. Edit. Just adding, unfortunately, I couldn't contain myself when I found out, so she knows I know. She gave a bunch of reasons that she felt lonely and felt the spark had gone. I wasn't there for her, things like that. I was packing my bags because I just couldn't handle that she would cheat on me with someone like him, used to sell drugs, missing most of his teeth because he uses, spilled from his wife, who he has a 10-year-old with because she kicked him out. But she convinced me to stay, and unfortunately, as I have no family here or friends good enough to stay with at that short notice, I stayed. But it's 3 a.m. now, and I can't sleep. Edit 2. Sorry, I'm just venting now. I should sleep, but I feel like the room is spinning. So when I first met her, ironically, she had not long got out of a 6-year relationship with some she described to me as jobless amongst other things, and that he had cheated on her. I just want to say I consider us upstanding normal working professionals, just to paint the picture. But she was sort of a punk rocky type of girl, and I'm a geeky tech guy. And at this point I had been so royal screwed over by my ex that I'd been single for about 3 years. My ex had twisted me into pushing away my family, my friends. I quit my job because I'd become a depressed recluse, and I genuinely to this day don't remember some things that went on at that time. Like genuine blackouts in memory, I became this other person. She eventually decided after she got pregnant that she could get more money by kicking me out. I was left with nothing. I ended up staying in this abandoned old people home because it was cheap. They rent rooms to make it look lived in to deter vandals. Then I find out she had been sleeping with someone I thought was a friend, and he moved in. So not only did I have no one, my friend basically took my family from underneath me, I also had a self-employed business doing IT repair work, all that gone. I eventually came to terms with things, and eventually I had to leave. I wasn't coping. I moved 4 hours away to be with family, and I became a chef working for my father-in-law. 3 years go by and I'm still traveling back and forth as much as I can, and threw myself into agency work as being at home, knowing my broken family state. Being a home felt like a prison. So my average weeks were 12-16 hours days, 7 days a week. I get to the point of basically trying to work myself to death. I really just wanted the world to end. I was paralyzed, not feeling like I could move on. I took on a job where I met the only person I know would have my back no matter what, and he was my head chef. He helped me heal my soul, and I got to the point of feeling good about myself and seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Then I met my fiance. She was exiting, just left her PR job to go traveling, not long left her ex, and I was spent the whole day working together, couldn't keep my eyes off of her. I was just taken in by everything she had to say. When it came time to sign of the timesheets for the temps, which the head chef always did, he handed hers to me. I signed it off and handed it to her. She waited for me to ask her for her number, but I could bring myself to say the words, and it got a little awkward, but she left, and I found her on Facebook later that day. The rest is history, as they say. She saved me, told me that my ex doesn't have the power I felt she did, would call me with my daughter on the phone, but then take over and emotionally blackmail me into giving more money, and me feeling guilty did it. Fell head over heels, and it was just perfect. She was planning to go traveling and not long got back from New Zealand and wanted to save up some money and head back out again, so we made a plan, worked hard, and saved the money. We traveled Southeast Asia, Bali, and a year around Australia. We then went to New Zealand. I started out as a chef, and she managed to get work doing data entry. While working as a chef, someone there realized that actually I'm really good with IT and knew someone looking for people like me, and it was better paid and sort of better hours. This turned out to be the friend who cheated with my fiance. Years go by. I left that job and kept in touch with said friend, but didn't really hang out as he was far too into drugs and things like that, and made me uncomfortable. I took on a position at a global tech company and started earning the most money I've ever earned in my life, doing something that I had always done, self-taught. Basically, I started going through the ranks and taking on more and more, and I started to develop imposter syndrome, and it really affected my mental state. Found it hard to do the things I enjoyed in life, but I hunkered down because we had a dream of owning a house together. My fiance was working for a charity, and life seemed relatively good. Wasn't perfect, but we had a common goal, and the rest, as they say, is history. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to spill this from my mind.